Can Pochettino's America forfeit the Nations League? Will Canada under Jesse Marsh finally win a major trophy? Will Javier Aguirre finally bring Mexico back to the promised land? And can Thomas Christensen pull off yet another shocker with his dark horse Panama side? Welcome to episode 32 of the CoDaKrew podcast, where today we are breaking down the CONCACAF Nations League finals. Here today to discuss are me, Darian, the Nottingham Nostradamus and Premier League prognosticator, Corey, our Premier League host and Canadian football expert, and Swapnil, editor of the channel and CONCACAF clairvoyant.
All right. How are we feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Good.
All right.
I think this is my first episode back since actually the last Nations League episode, so happy to be back on.
All
And
right.
good to see that we've got Canada through to the semis. I think all of our predictions were right for the most part.
Yeah. I
With
Yeah.
think
our
the only
previous
thing
episodes,
was
yes?
Mexico Honduras, but
Right.
Uh-huh. It still turned out. All right,
Okay,
let's
so our
just jump
predictions turned out well. Yeah,
yeah,
let's get on to these next ones then.
let's jump right into it. Let's talk about our first semifinal. Let's talk about Canada Mexico first.
Ooh,
okay.
okay.
So we're making a group
Yeah.
prediction here. So should we
Yeah.
go into reasoning, or should we just start with a prediction? Because I think this one's pretty obvious.
I think it's a Canada win, guys. You guys
This
got
is
It's
a
this.
Canada win. Look, I would. Should I talk about Canada or Mexico first, though? I guess is the question.
Talk about Mexico first.
Let's talk about
Yeah, let's hit
Mexico.
Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Exhibit 1, Mexico. What is happening with your midfield? With all due respect, you guys play the same midfielders every time, year after year, tournament after tournament, and you haven't been, and it's never been good. It's never worked out for you. So why should I believe that suddenly in this Nations League final, you're actually gonna get your act together? All right. So Edson Alvarez, he's had some good games, but other than that, there's not like you can't just be looking at like club form, right? In terms of national team form for Mexico, there's not a lot going on over there.
It's kind of just like a hole in the middle.
It's really just it's not good. It's just not good.
All right. It seems like something that with the stacked roster, Canada can just go right through.
I mean, here's the way I see it, right? So
Yeah.
we play a 4-4-2. Our
Right.
two central midfielders are going to be Kone and Eustaquio. And I'm sorry, Mexico's midfield that and by the way, probably Buchanan and Schaffelberg will be like the other two midfielders, like the two wingers. I Mexico's midfield cannot handle this. They just can't.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Okay. So Darian's looking at the rosters which just came out. I've been looking more at like how the two teams have been doing historically. Now we have a kind of terrible record against Mexico. Uh, if you just look at like 11v11, it's pretty trash. But we took 5 losses in a row, and then in the last 3 matches, we've actually managed 2 draws and a win. So we had a draw at the Azteca, and then a
Yes,
2-1
Jonathan
win
Osorio scored
at
that goal, by the way.
yeah,
okay.
2-1 win
a
at
t-
the Ice
a
Taika,
2-1
by
at
the
the
way.
Commonwealth, the Ice Teca they called it.
The
And
Ice
then
Taika. I remember
Yeah.
that. It was
in the most
amazing.
recent friendly, we had a 0-0 draw. Now, we are going to be playing at SoFi. I think it's really unfortunate they're playing all the matches at SoFi, but we will be playing there, which is a problem because there are probably more Mexican fans that are going to show up to those matches than American ones. Let's be so for real. I've seen people
True.
call it the
Uh-huh.
Azteca North, like Azteca Norte.
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
the fact that you can the fact that you can declare that for a foreign stadium is insane to me. But I do think our team has gotten really used to playing in like hostile environments at this point. I don't think it'll be a problem for us because again, we drew them at the actual Azteca. And
Yeah.
also, El Tri doesn't have a perfect record clearly at SoFi because they had that loss to Venezuela and that got them kicked out of the Copa,
Right.
the group stage.
Hmm.
So if we can manage a draw at the Azteca, I think we can beat them in LA.
Two things
So
though,
I have
right?
Canada winning.
Two things. It's always Canada's used to playing in hostile environments, and this is something we always have to deal with like North American tournaments because for whatever reason they're always hosted by the U.S. Like the U.S. just has this advantage that they host every Nations League, they host every Gold Cup. And
Yeah,
it is what it is.
yeah. They should really change it up.
Also, with the Mexico form, right? Like those two games you were talking about, that was the 2022 World Cup qualifiers. So we lost 5 times before them, but like when was that? That doesn't matter. If you look
Wait,
at like
what's her record under Jesse Marsh against Mexico?
what was just the one
Under
draw,
Marsh.
and then
Oh,
Oh yeah,
under
it is
and
just a
then
draw.
okay, and then before that, why am I forgetting our old coach's name? Oh my god. But well, sorry, with John
Um,
Herdman. With John Herdman,
Herdman.
were those the only two games we played that win in the draw?
Uh, okay.
When was the last time we played
So
Mexico before that?
the draw was so we had two matches against them in 2021. It was the draw in October, and before that there was a Gold Cup loss in July. So I think he
Oh, I
might have
forgot
played
about
that
that.
one as
That's
well.
true. No, but we didn't play our starting lineup in that Gold Cup, did we?
That's true. That's also true. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
I wouldn't be too. I think if anything, we
We
have a good
we didn't have
record.
Davies on that match. Yeah. So I don't think that's really an issue.
yeah. And also,
Um.
even in the 0-0 draw, I mean, like we didn't start Jonathan David that game.
Yeah,
Oh.
that
Yeah.
was
No.
not
You're
that
right.
great
We
of a
did not
lineup.
have David on. Yeah.
It's not like an amazing lineup, honestly. I mean, it's decent, but like, yeah, no
It could be
Kone.
better.
We were starting Ali Ahmed, who's
Starting
fine,
Ali
but
Ahmed.
like, and then
David
also,
only David only came on 62nd
yeah,
minute.
no
Yeah.
Schaffelberg either. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, this is not the full like there wasn't the full starting lineup for Mexico either though. Like, there's no Raul Jimenez here, but you know,
Yeah,
I feel like when we're looking at like our record against Mexico, I think we're in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think
I
we're in
think
pretty
so.
good shape, especially since now we got like upgrades, especially on our like up front.
Yeah, Promise David
Who-
and
Yeah,
Daniel
We
Jefferson,
have a
two
second
strikers.
yeah.
David, and we have Jefferson in as well.
Uh huh.
That's right. Promise David and Daniel Jefferson, Nigerian and English. They played for those countries in the youth level, and they both now
Right.
transferred to
And then and
Canada.
then and I
Yeah.
do want to say I think Marsh did a great job getting those dual nationals in here.
That's true. That
Those are like big additions to our team
Marsh
and
has been
strength to our
absolutely
team.
cooking. Just for some context,
Uh-huh.
I realize a lot of maybe especially the 409s does not know who these people are. Promise David has 11 goals in the Belgian league. He has the fifth most goals in that entire league, and he's
Yeah.
coming in. He's coming into Can. That's who we've just added, and we've also added Daniel Jefferson, who's currently playing for Bournemouth. So these are
Bournemouth were
solid.
Bournemouth who are themselves having quite a good season in the Prem. I
Yeah,
don't know that their like ninth place in the standings really reflects it, but they've had some very good matches against some big teams.
I mean we've talked about them a lot, in the Premier League
Yeah,
series, but the thing is like from fourth to 10th basically is very close. So like that's all it's all very solid mid-table teams that make up of that. So like in two
right.
weeks, Bournemouth could be fifth again.
So
Yeah,
we've
for
got a
sure.
Prem level player and someone who is like a breakout star this season,
And we
which is
have
a
a
Mhm.
respectable league too.
yeah, and I don't know
Yeah.
how Saint Gillois is doing in the Belgian league, but that's a team that has at least potential to make the Champions League for sure
Right.
in any
Uh,
given year.
I think we're gonna tear up Mexico's defense. Honestly.
Yeah, that's how I see it. Like Mexico, the thing is,
Yeah.
right, under the new coach, Javier Aguirre, there's been a lot of question marks about who is going to start and who is even good, like in their back line, and I really don't know. I just I see this Canadian team where I think Promise David, the two Davids will be our two starting strikers. It
Yeah.
could be Kyle Aaron too, but I feel like you got to give Promise David the start here. He's been so good. Um,
Mm.
yeah, I mean,
And
like
I also yeah.
there's no defensive solidity for Mexico to have in this match.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And also I can see Mexico's like forward struggling against our defense.
True. Should I go into my
Mm,
can I go in
our back
actually
line is strong.
to be
Hmm.
fair, Mexico actually has pretty strong attack. That would be I think that
They
is their
they do have a strong attack, but like I feel like our defense can handle it. Like we got a pretty stacked back line, don't
Our
we?
our back four is absolutely insane. But can I just talk about Mexico's attack real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Raul
go.
Jimenez has like what 10 goals in the Premier League this season for Fulham. He's been
Uh-huh.
Right.
This has been a good year for him. I feel like
Yeah.
I
And then you
crap on him
got
all the time, but this has actually been a good year.
and then
Oh,
behind him Santiago.
yeah, Santi. The thing with Santi is
He
he's
doesn't.
obviously had a very young prospect has been getting better every season. But the thing is, we haven't seen it really for the national
In
team yet.
Mexico,
He's
yeah.
been
Wow,
good, but he hasn't really
yeah,
lived up to his potential yet, in my opinion.
yeah. Wait, are they gonna have both of them like starting,
I
or are they
think
gonna like
so.
I
Yeah,
think they
I
are both
yeah?
starting.
Because in
probably.
like previous games, like I only see like one of them at like the
It
top.
does a lot of Aguirre does a lot of experimenting, but I imagine like they'll play a front. My guess is their front three is Jimenez, Santi, Vega. Is that what y'all are feeling?
Yeah.
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 So it's a solid attack, but
Uh,
our defense, man. Okay, can I just give a hot take here? Let me just give a hot take, okay? There's four parts of this. The first part, this is not a hot take. We have the best left back in North
Mhm.
America. Alfonso Davies is not just the best
Yeah.
left back in North America, but the best player in North America, and it's not close.
Yeah.
Uh, is there a better right back than Alistair Johnson in North America?
uh,
I don't think so.
no.
Uh-huh. Probably not.
And then what about this? Who's the best center back in North America right now? On a national team level, it's not close. It's Mike Bombito.
Uh-huh.
Right.
And then who's the second best? That's where it's a little more iffy.
Yeah,
That's
but
where
we
iffy.
can.
I'm not saying Derek Cornelius is the second best center back
Yeah, but you can
in
make
North
an argument.
America. But you can make an
You can.
argument. But you can make an
Yeah.
argument. So there is an argument to be made that the best left back, the best right back, and the best center backs is Canada's defensive
Are all
line.
on Canada's team. It's just
So
our
just
back line.
understand, like 2 years ago, the defense was by far Canada's greatest weakness. Kamal Miller and like Stephen Victoria were our weakness, and they were fine. I mean, they weren't terrible, but we went from Victoria and Miller to Bombito and Cornelius, who are both like I think 20 are they both under 25 by the way? They're both under 25. They're playing in Ligue 1 for solid teams
Right.
that are also like sort of
Nice.
stepping stones that can even help them progress more in their career. That defense is scary. If you're not Canada and you're in North America, that defense over the next few years, that's going to be scary.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I see this as a pretty nice win for Canada.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think our roster is just like all
Yeah.
around stacked.
It's just stacked.
Yeah.
Just yeah, I feel like we're the favorites in this tournament.
And by the way, there one name we haven't even mentioned by the way, Maxime Crepeau, guys.
Yes, he.
Oh,
This
our
guy has never had a
keepers.
bad game for Canada.
Yeah, even if like I feel like I don't think that ball's gonna get to him that much, even. But like even
How
if it
many
gets to him, we're
one-on-one
good.
saves did he make personally without a defender near against Lionel freaking Messi, dude? Like
Yeah, the Argentina
this
game.
guy, this guy made like I swear at least 3 or 4 over the course of those 2 games, one-on-one saves against Lionel freaking Messi,
I
dude.
mean, he's just the goat.
Dude, on national team level, Maxime Crepeau is just built different.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's that much else to say about this one.
So,
Yeah,
do we
no,
want to
I
give
think our
a
lineup is
score,
just like
or
all around good.
do you want to give a
Go.
score, or what? Or just go right in?
Um, I mean, Mexico have scoring threats, but I don't think they get that many goals past us. I had a
Yeah.
2-1 for Canada.
Oh, I
I
was
had
gonna go
a
3-1.
I was gonna go for 2-0. So I mean, well, it's all good. I mean, I think we're all agreeing here that Canada makes it past Mexico in this first semifinal.
Yeah. Okay, let's just talk about the next semifinal then. USA and Panama.
Ooh, okay. Um, if I'm gonna bring up their head-to-head again,
Sure.
uh, okay, the U.S. has a good record against Panama, overall, which is important because Panama's manager has been the same guy for a couple of years now, right,
And he's
Christensen?
he's been very solid the whole time, by the way.
He
Yeah.
has been solid, but I think the U.S. has kept up decent form against him. Their recent record is kind of iffy. They have it's 2 wins and 3 losses in their last 5, and in their last 3, it's a win and 2 losses. Those 2 losses were they got knocked out in the semifinals of the Gold Cup. That was 2023, and then arguably worse was
Not
the
arguably, definitely
2-1.
worse.
Definitely worse was 2-1 loss in the last year's Copa, which led to the U.S. getting knocked out in the group stage and eventually the firing of the polarizing Sir Greg Berhalter.
Sir
It's
Greg
sir. Wait,
Berhalter is
sir.
great.
Hang on. Does he
Sir.
have? He doesn't have a knighthood, does he?
I don't think he has a knight.
Okay, if he
I
does,
don't
it
think he
needs
has
to
a
be revoked
knighthood, but it's like
immediately.
that's basically how the national team has treated him the whole time that
That
he
is
was in the
true.
manager's
That
spot.
is
Uh-huh.
true. This guy was
Yeah.
so. This guy had a very mid managerial time, and then he got exposed for physically abusing his wife, and so they fired
Yeah.
him. Spent 6 months finding a replacement, and then the
That's
replacement
so
was
real.
him. So, like,
Yeah, I don't
Man,
know.
this one actually,
It
I don't
took
know what.
it took abuse allegations for them to finally decide that maybe he shouldn't be our manager anymore.
and then
Not
Uh-huh.
like not gameplay.
even after they still kept him. They
Yeah,
just
but you know what? I'll
pretended.
take.
They pretended to look at other options. They didn't even look at other options.
Uh-huh.
They just, in order to, I guess, to escape the heat, I guess.
Yeah, but like, look, you know what? If they could do that, I'll take Jesse Marsh.
This is true. Jesse Marsh wanted to be the U.S. National team coach. They're
Uh-huh.
taking themselves for actually maybe not anymore because they do have
They do
Yeah,
have
they do have a
Poch.
Pochettino,
good. They have
who is
Pochettino,
But
but like,
who
I mean
is
they
on
I
paper better than Jesse Marsh. So
right. But they also could have gone a lot further, I think, in the Copa without Berhalter at the helm. So they
yeah,
did miss out there, I think, not
do
having
they?
Marsh
Do
on
you
board.
think that team was capable of beating Colombia in like the quarterfinals
Hmm.
hypothetically?
um,
I don't think they could.
yeah, I don't think
I
so,
mean,
but like,
yeah, but I think they'd have a way better shot, no?
I agree with
I
that.
suppose so.
I
Yeah,
think
I suppose
Berhalter
Uh-huh.
was and like had been limiting them for a while.
that's true. Under Berhalter, literally had them playing volleyball. Like that was it was
Yeah.
charming.
Yeah,
No,
yeah, but
they
look,
finally kind of broke free of their chains there.
uh-huh. Yeah, they got rid of him, and now with Pochettino's, that changes things up.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, at the very least, just like on a pride level, like not getting knocked out in the group stage would have been nice, right?
Yeah. In your own
yeah,
home tournament, by the way, that
In
you are
yes,
hosting.
yes, in a tournament you're hosting too, that's a big thing. So the U.S. won their last match against Panama 2-0. It was a friendly. I think they will be quite eager to get a win in a like proper competition after the last 2 losses they've had.
Yeah, and I think
Uh,
U.S. in general will, because Poch really hasn't had that many chances to prove himself yet.
right.
hmm
As long as Weah doesn't punch anyone in the back of the head, I think they'll do fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
Now, Panama's form is it's kind of hard to parse. They're like recent form at least. They did very well in the Copa. As for like earlier on in the Nations League, they barely got away. They barely got past Costa Rica on away goals in the quarterfinals. I'm honestly not sure they deserve to get by. They rarely got saved by the 2 disallowed goals. One for handball, the other one was for offside. Then okay, past that they lost to a team from Peru. They had a hybrid friendly, which is a very interesting thing I've seen. How like Latin American and I think South American teams as well. Uh, they do like hybrid friendlies against clubs.
Yeah.
It's not.
yeah.
It's. I mean, it's not something. I'm not sure the U.S. or Canadian teams have ever done that.
We've
It
never done
seems
that.
like it's
Mexico
a
did that recently too, by
Uh-huh.
the way.
yeah, Mexico had matches against it was I know River Plate they played
Yeah.
and was it
They played like
Internacional from
some La Liga side too, I think.
mm, and
Or
then
maybe
Internacional from Brazil they also played. It's interesting. It's not. It seems like it's a pretty normal thing for them to do.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, they played
Yeah.
Valencia actually even before that. By the way, that was what I was
Oh,
thinking of.
how'd they do against Valencia?
2-2 draw.
Okay, not bad, not bad.
All right. With
But
starting players.
this is
Yeah.
not starting lineup Valencia though.
Okay.
By the way,
But did they
So
start starting lineup?
let me check. No, no, not really. It kind
Yeah.
of, but not really.
right.
All
So
right.
they played. So they played Universitario. I think that's who it was from Peru.
Yeah,
I don't really want to go like use that as a base too much because I don't know how hybrid friendlies usually go. But then they got mollywopped by Chile.
but they didn't play
Six
the
one.
starting lineup in either of those matches.
That's true. That's true. But 6-1 is a quite menacing scoreline,
Okay,
and
no, it doesn't
they got
matter though.
scored on within
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Okay, who cares
Okay.
though? Who cares?
I don't think that will play a big role in this matchup in
I,
determining what happens here.
if I can like point this out, like I know they don't have a lot of big name players, but they are very cohesive. It's not going to be easy for the U.S. to break them down.
Oh yeah, but like if we look at a roster standpoint, the U.S. are look more talented.
They do.
Uh,
But
it
but
just
then
matters if they can
Panama,
play at that like
yeah,
together at that level.
the U.S. has talent, but Panama has continuity.
Yeah.
And the problem with the U.S. is they're playing, by the way, with Ricardo Pepi and Balogun both injured.
Balogun are gone. Yeah,
So
Yeah.
now
and Balogun.
they're relying. They're playing in the striker position. Hilariously enough, Josh Sargent. So there's question marks around this team. Like it would be Weah, Pulisic, Sargent would be the front three.
Right.
They
Okay.
don't. They haven't played together in a front three like starting lineup recently. I think it's probably been a few years at least. So
Right.
will they?
I did have some stats on Sargent. So
Okay.
since the World Cup, um, can you guess how many? Like, give me a guess. How many minutes do you think he's played?
Wait for the U.S.
Yeah, for the national team.
Dude, not much. Definitely not
Well,
much.
yeah,
Uh
not
huh.
much because the thing is he kind of never shows up. It's just like
Yeah.
injuries.
Yeah.
Honestly, like he's replacing Pepe. It's a miracle he's not injured as well. But he has played 152 minutes, so less than 2 full games, and 130 of those have been more recent. So he has managed to play, but they've also been in friendlies. In
But
competitions, he's only
that's also like Pochettino like experimenting with other players though as he's like starting
right.
out.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Uh
But
huh.
22 minutes he's played in competitions.
Yeah.
So
And from that to starter, by the way, he's not just playing; he is starting.
he's
Yeah.
starting.
I mean,
He's
unless
starting.
they're gonna start, I don't know, Patrick Agimeng or Brian White. I mean, I don't know who those people are. They're starting Josh Sargent.
Uh huh.
Yeah. He's doing quite well for himself in the championship, to be fair. He has been, but it's like I don't know that he's ever really been able to translate that for
Yeah.
for the national team.
And this is a problem for the U.S. more generally. Remember how we were talking about how much depth Canada has in the attackers? The
Right.
Yeah.
U.S.
U.S. doesn't
doesn't.
have
They have
that.
no bro. So basically, they have their starters, and then I can't name anyone else.
Anyone else?
I don't even know who they are. You
Uh
call me
huh.
a casual, okay, but I don't know who these people are, and I feel like I know
Okay.
a decent amount of like North American football.
Right. I
Wait.
have heard of Yunus Musa. I have not heard
But Yunus
of
Musa is not a forward though. Yunus Musa is
No,
not an
but
right.
like
attacker.
I
Yeah,
guess Jamaica they actually played him up. I watched it back. They did play him
right.
like at that wing position.
They can play him as a winger, but he's not a winger.
But he hasn't. I'll be honest. He didn't do that much, but he did have a nice pass, a nice assist on a goal though.
Dude, listen, maybe he could do some stuff as winger for Jamaica, and he still didn't play like a winger, if you know what I mean. Like he just played like an attacking midfielder that was put on the wing.
Like
He
from
didn't.
what I saw, he's like he goes up and down, like depending on where he needs to be in terms of
How many
positioning.
times did he dribble past a Jamaican defender?
Yeah, zero. I mean, like I didn't
Exactly.
watch.
Like he
I
didn't.
only watch highlights, but like,
Yeah, but that's
uh,
my point though. Like he's not gonna add much to the attack. He's playing like a
Um,
volleyball player. He's playing like the Berhalter system.
well, yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I think like they got people that can dribble past, but I don't know if they got that like striker, like that one player at the top.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah,
They just
that's what
don't.
they don't have. I think that's what they're missing.
So then
Yeah.
Pepe is injured and Balogun as well, yes?
Yeah.
Uh, so I know he scored two in the Copa. How's he been doing for his club? Who does he play for actually?
Wait, who? Wait, who are you asking? Balogun or
Uh,
Pepe?
Balogun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Balogun's been playing. Balogun's at Monaco, and I feel like
Okay.
he. So the thing is, it's hard to say because he's been injured for like a long time. But
Right.
before that, I mean, he was doing fine. I think he wasn't doing badly. But I would say
Cause
like Balogun is one of those players for me who is more of a national team player than a club player.
oh,
So
that's
that's what makes
interesting.
him a really
So
big loss for the U.S. That
so
and
the
like
opposite of Sargent then.
him and Pepe we're holding down the line for the U.S. like striker attack thing, right? So losing both of them at once, that's a really big issue for the U.S.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, but they got that stacked midfield though.
That midfield is crazy, dude.
Right.
Tyler Adams, Weston McKinley, and Gio Reyna, and they have Johnny Cardoso and Tanner Tesman who are going to be off the bench.
Right. Ah. Okay. So damn, this might be
Mhm.
a bit of a toss-up, honestly,
I'm gonna go with
compared to
because
that
here's the
other
thing.
match.
I think Panama's attack is not good enough. We
Yeah.
haven't talked about them as much,
Yeah.
but outside of Cecilia Waterman, like who is gonna get the chances? So I
Yeah.
think the
I
way I
think
see
they
it,
do.
I think the U.S. wins because Panama won't score. I think it's gonna be like a
Uh,
U.S. 1-0.
A 1-0. Okay.
Yeah.
I had a 2-0 actually for the US.
2-0 is fair.
But
I should say,
yeah,
by the
Uh-huh.
way,
I don't really
Panama's
expect much more.
goalkeeper Mosquera has always been very solid for the national team. Club level is
Right.
like a different story, but
Yeah, but you know what? If this is a national team, that's
yeah,
what
this
we
is a
like.
national team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree with that 1-0
So
score line. I think that's it.
so low scoring, probably no goals for Panama. US win. Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Okay.
Let's
What does
move.
that take us into
Let's
then?
do the bronze medal match then first before we do
Third
the
place.
Uh,
Right.
long-awaited finale.
that's Panama Mexico matchup.
Can I just give my prediction? Can you
Mm,
just give a hot take right now?
Yeah.
sure. Go ahead.
Panama
Are
wins
you gonna
this.
say Pan? Oh yeah.
Panama wins this.
Oh,
I would.
Why?
hey.
Let me tell you why. Mexico's midfield is not it, and Panama's midfield, led by Carrasquilla, who has been amazing for Panama for a long time, and who everyone else plays around them, and they play very subtly as a team. I think they would get the bulk of the chances against Mexico. That's how I see it.
Damn.
So,
Interesting.
But like, and I know I'm going back to the 11v11 often.
right.
I've been doing it a lot here. But Panama has not won against Mexico since 2013.
How many times have they played though? Actually, it's probably a decent
Um,
amount, but
it is a decent amount. If I can count it quickly, it's so they've got like Nations League matches, Gold Cup. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15 matches. They have 15 matches
that they haven't
without
won.
a win. Yeah, 15
I'm
without a
sticking to
win.
my guns though
And
because I
most of those,
sorry.
Yeah.
actually, I should say that's 13 Mexico wins and 2 draws in that time.
Yeah, I'm still sticking to my guns though because I
Okay.
mean you guys can
Uh,
disagree and we'll get to a group consensus later, but
oh, wait, you said that the Mexico like defense was bad.
the midfield is bad. The defense
Oh,
is
the midfield.
Midfield.
kind of a little bit questionable too. I'm not gonna lie though.
Okay, okay. That makes it a little more plausible. But like,
Yeah.
but when they're working on all cylinders, they can be real good.
But I
Okay.
haven't seen it.
Yeah.
We haven't seen it. We just haven't seen it though.
Wait.
Recently, we haven't.
So
When that comeback against Honduras, though.
It's Honduras,
wait.
but it's
Okay.
Honduras.
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
okay, but like still.
Hey, don't flame Honduras, man. They got
Uh,
into a whole war over football. Let's not forget that. These guys take
wasn't
it
that like
seriously.
75 billion years ago?
Yeah, so but it's still, they got that long history.
Has Mexico ever gotten into a war over football?
Probably. I'm not gonna
Probably
lie.
not.
What was the cause of that French Mexican war? Like, however long ago that
Oh,
was. What was the cause of that?
um,
We're going way
I
off
don't
topic
know.
right now. I'm sorry.
Was that
Uh-huh.
just Napoleon doing Napoleon things?
I thought that was after
Oh, it
Napoleon,
it
or was it
wasn't.
not?
That was a different Napoleon
Oh, was this the
actually.
third?
Not. Yeah, it was the third.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay, makes sense.
I think Mexico was just like in
Uh-huh.
a metric shit ton of debt. So yeah.
Yeah, but
Anyways, no
um,
football. They're not going to war over football. Honduras is going to war over football.
okay.
Not
But
Okay, back to
well.
Panama though. Back
yeah,
to Panama though. Honduras
yeah.
is not in this match.
I feel like, Mexico, like, I feel like their offense can put in some goals.
They can put in some goals, but
Yeah.
how many chances will they get?
I mean,
I think it's
how good is Panama's defense? We've been saying like Mexico's defense
I
is
feel like
questionable.
Panama's
How's Panama?
defense is like it's not great, but it's not terrible either. I mean,
Like,
okay,
yeah, but I
and
feel
and they
like
and they
this
have
Mexico
Mascara
defense
in net
is
too. So like, do you think
they have
they can hold
Mosquera in
back
net. They have Cesar
Mexico's onslaught?
Blackman. I mean,
okay.
and
That's
then like
true.
and then you have the back line that, like, I say this again, like they play very well together, relatively
Right.
compared to like their actual individual skill level. So I don't. That's why, like, I don't know. I have a lot of questions about how Mexico would fare here.
Uh-huh. Wait, but is Panama gonna score any goals?
I feel like I said, I think Panama will have more chances because they will dominate the midfield.
Okay.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
for me, that means
Yeah.
Panama win.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not, but for me, that's where I'm
I think
where I'm
I
looking at
think
this.
based off of what the conversation we're having here, it's like I'm feeling a kind of a toss up here.
Swapnil, what are you saying?
Ooh, it's tough. Okay, so I mean, if we kind of like go through every bit of the roster, Panama's got a great goalkeeper. Mascara has shown his worth for the national team already in like the
Yes.
past couple tournaments.
How's the Mexican goalkeeper?
Mexico
The thing
Mexico
is,
dropped Ochoa.
well,
Aguirre
yeah, well, he's
dropped
old as
Ochoa. So
he's old as shit.
yeah,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, the thing
yeah,
is, Malagon has actually been pretty decent in net, but we haven't seen very much of him. It's a very small sample size of him being the
right,
starting
yeah.
Mexico keeper.
That's the real problem I think is because
Right.
like
So I think
Ochoa is old,
I
but
think
he
that's a
showed
big
his worth,
question
and
mark.
like we don't have much of a sample for the
it's a quite.
other
I think
goalkeepers.
based on what I've seen, Malagon is a Mascara level keeper. But what we've seen so far.
Okay,
But
okay.
Mosquera is known. We know how he's gonna do. Malagon, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure.
It's
I'm not as sure.
Malgon is a wild card. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it
Okay.
depends on how he plays. Okay.
So Panama doesn't have so many people who can create chances, but Mexico
Defense.
might not be able to stop them anyways.
Right, but who on Mexico is creating the chances
Yeah.
though?
Uh,
Oh, that's
Jimenez.
Because
Jimenez.
they have the players to convert the chances, but who's gonna give them the chances in the first place?
That's a quite good question. I could not answer that for you.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Mhm.
I think this would.
You know,
Here's the way
you're
I see
you're
it.
kind of
If
starting to convert me, man.
if Mexico win against Panama in the bronze medal match, you know what? You know who it will be because I think the one chance creator that could save them here is Santi, but Santi hasn't shown himself yet.
Hmm.
Yeah, but when he shows himself, I feel like he's got to have a breakout game at some point.
But But think about, is it here where the pressure is at its highest? I feel like a young
We'll see how
star.
good of a player he really is. Like this is a
Yeah,
test.
I've seen some talk about Jimenez lately. Getting like sucked into the whirlpool at Milan. I don't know, something like that.
Okay, I'm not sure what
When
that
was
means.
like apparently he hasn't been. I mean, I don't watch Serie A, but apparently he hasn't been doing much scoring as of late.
Well, that's because he
I
played
don't know if
9
that really
games.
reflects on the Mexican team though, but
I don't
yeah.
want to.
Is he gonna do so you're saying like you don't think he's gonna be able to do much chance creation?
He's not going to be able to. Yes. Also, he might be cursed because
Okay.
if I may bring something up, So obviously he plays for Milan, right? You know who he was loaned
Right.
to until recently?
Oh, wait, give
Uh,
me a second. Loaned?
it was
He
like
was loaned, or sorry, not
fine.
loaned. Sorry, wait, what am I saying? He was
No,
sorry.
he was
I'm being
playing
stupid. He wasn't loaned. He transferred
Feyenoord.
to AC Milan from Feyenoord, and then
Yeah.
what
Right,
happened
yeah.
as soon as he transferred from Feyenoord to Milan? Feyenoord knocked out Milan in the Champions League.
Yeah. Right, he played against his old team and
He
lost.
scored a goal
Oh.
against Feyenoord, by the way, but that
Yeah,
was the
yeah,
only goal
I
against Milan that
remember
they still lost.
Uh-huh.
it was like the opening minute, right?
Right.
That he
So
scored.
I mean, I'm not saying he's cursed,
I mean, it's just one game, bro. We can't
but
say he's first.
it's kind of
We
ironic.
can't.
I mean, it's hard to say, but I guess like just if we go over the most recent info we have, then he may be cursed. He may be cursed.
He may be cursed.
Nah, we're going. That most recent info is like one game.
Well,
Okay, well,
technically 2 games. It's technically a two-legged tie.
two-legged,
Okay.
two-legged. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. You might have converted me to the Panama side.
Yes, let's go.
Corey, what are you thinking?
Yeah. I don't know. It'll depend.
I say this now, and then like when it actually happens, Santi is gonna score a goal, and Raul Jimenez is gonna score two, and then I'm gonna look
Yeah, that's
stupid.
what I'm saying, bro.
And
Because
you're
But
gonna look.
I can see that happening.
the thing is, we gotta be spicy. We have to have some spicy predictions. No, are you really
Okay,
want to just go with the obvious
I'll
choice
let you
for
guys.
every game?
I'll let you guys
So
do
it's
the spicy thing. But I'll let you guys do the spicy thing for the content. But like, I think in my heart, I feel like something's gonna happen to Santi and Raul Jimenez. Bro.
I I just want something. I'm just something inside. Something is telling me Panama 2-1. I don't know. I just feel a 2-1 win for Panama. I don't know why. I mean,
Well, I'll give you
I
guys
do
this
know.
one.
I do know why, but
I'll give you guys this one. But I won't be surprised if Mexico pulls out.
all right.
I mean,
Swapnil, are you on
obviously,
board with this?
Hmm. There is one more thing I want to think about. We haven't really mentioned it yet.
Okay.
Uh, I don't know how likely it is, but if this goes to penalties, who do you see winning?
Oh, that's a good point. If this goes to penalties, shit, I think Mexico wins then. If this goes to penalties, yeah.
Okay, then
Well, I didn't think about that.
I still want to say Panama. I still want to say Panama here.
My instinct is that Panama wins this before penalties. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna, yeah, sure. I think if this goes to penalties, I think it's definitely because then that's when the Mexican attackers, you know,
they can
sorry, that
actually do
the
something.
strikers. That's when like Vega, Jimenez. That's when like I think they get the upper edge there.
right.
Okay, I'll give you guys this one.
Okay, that's an
Uh-huh.
All
interesting
right.
matchup.
Well,
Okay, let's talk about the
Big the final.
finals.
I mean,
Canada,
listen,
USA. Yes.
this is what we are
This is
all
what
here
we're
for.
waiting for.
Okay, this is the
Yeah.
one. This is the. It's all been leading up to this. Canada, US of A.
Yeah,
Okay,
but okay. I
first
want
one.
to start by saying, okay,
Sorry, no, you
no,
start.
I'll
You
start
start.
by saying, I'll start by saying, like, I feel like this is the strongest Canada has ever been, and the U.S., they're not at their best right now.
Yeah. Well, I think they are at their
Yeah.
best, but because of the injuries, they're not. It's not their
Yeah,
best roster.
Right.
yeah.
If
So like,
I can start, I want to say this game is about more than football. All right. I'm sorry. Can I say what I'm about to say? Like, I think you know where I'm going with this.
yeah, I
Yeah,
know where you're
yeah.
going with this. You can say
So,
it.
all right. So I'm gonna try to say this without getting too overly political. However, the president of the United States has repeatedly threatened to remove Canada's sovereignty as a country. And that in the Four Nations Hockey League, for example, that was basically when Canada and the US played in a hockey tournament very recently. It was a very violent game. It was a highly
Right.
combative game. So the US Canada rivalry has always been there. I remember during Trump's first term when he was saying what he was saying about the Mexican border. There were also very high tensions when the US played Mexico in the World Cup qualifying 2018. And that obviously, as we all know, did not go very well for the U.S.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we might have. Did we talk about that during our last episode on Nations League?
We might have. I don't remember.
It was they got
So
knocked out by
during that last,
Trinidad, right?
the thing is, during that
Yeah.
time, we didn't know Trump was gonna. During that time, Joe Biden was still the president, by the way. But
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
so I'm saying there's gonna be a lot of. I don't know. I don't think the U.S. is really thinking about this that much, but
Uh-huh.
I can tell you right now, can like the average Canadian bro, we don't like see America as an ally anymore, which is a crazy thing to say because we've had like the longest unguarded border, uh, like historically speaking. But that's where Canada is, and that's coming into the football. Jesse Marsh, our head
Right.
coach, by the way, like he made this very explicit. So I'm not
He
even
was
like it's
very
not
open
even
about this.
yeah.
Yes.
So this
Okay.
is like the mindset that the Canadian national team is going into with this match. So
Yeah. This is a matter of
Yeah.
national pride at this point. It's just like the
Uh-huh.
hockey tournament.
This means a lot. Yeah.
yeah, so this
Especially
I
for the players on the field.
it's that it's also
They
remember this
care
is at
about them.
SoFi Stadium. I think this is going to be a physical match.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah. I can see some cards being thrown out.
I do see some cards being thrown
Yeah.
out. And then the thing is, if it is a physical match, who has more physicality? And if you ask me, it's not close. Canada has more physicality.
Yeah.
We have obviously our center backs are can body the. I'm sorry, but every like the U.S. front three is built like sticks. So I'm sorry, like
That's a crazy way to put it.
if you piss off Bombito too much, like you're done.
He'll knock you down, bro.
He can knock Pulisic down. I'm sorry. So it's that, and then it's also players like Tajon Buchanan is really good at getting under other players' skins. So I could totally see that happening, and then we get a yellow card out of that. That happened when we played the U.S. In World Cup qualifying in 2022. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of like outside of just the teams themselves advantages that Canada has.
Yeah.
That's going for
This-
Canada. The advantage the
yeah.
U.S. has though that might neutralize all this is the fact they're at home.
Well,
That's
yeah.
true. Yeah.
Well, you think they're gonna boo our national anthem?
Well, we're gonna be their
Uh.
national anthem, so
y-
they probably
Uh,
will. I mean, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Oh
They'll
yeah, there's
probably
another
boo
thing.
ours.
If you're not Canadian, I don't. You might not know this, but every time in every like sporting event in every sport, whenever they play the U.S. national anthem for in like the NBA or hockey or baseball or whatever, Canadians always boo the American national anthem because of
wait,
what's going on right now.
I thought that was just a recent thing.
No, no, no. That is a recent thing actually. You can
Yeah, that
find
is.
a lot
That's
of
what I'm saying.
clips.
I'm saying
Yeah.
because of yeah.
Right, right. As of
So
Yeah.
recent. And that's a big turnaround because you can find a lot of like feel good clips on YouTube where the speakers cut out at an NHL game or something, and the Canadian audience finishes the Star Spangled Banner.
right.
It's like happened on multiple occasions and it's been reciprocated in the U.S. as well.
Yeah,
So
these was our closest allies until 2 months ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the Canadian fans are obviously going to boo the U.S. national anthem because that's what they've
yeah.
been doing.
It doesn't
So
matter what the sport. It is a very
it's
hostile
hard to
environment.
imagine that at SoFi Stadium, when the U.S. fans see that, they don't reciprocate. That would just be very hard for me to imagine.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
I don't know. This one's gonna be a battle.
this game's gonna
Played
be a
in the
battle.
trenches.
I think the thing is this would either be like a 1-0 or this could be like a massive fireworks, a lot of goals. That's how I see this. And I
Uh-huh.
think if there are a lot of goals in this
It'll be
match,
more exciting.
the goals are coming from Canada because I feel better. Like with all due respect, the Davids are much better at putting ball in net for national team, uh, than 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 Josh Sargent. Like that's not a crazy take. That's just factual. Canada has
Yeah.
the best striker in North America.
Okay.
So obviously, you have Way and you have Pulisic. They have
They
been
can do
solid for
things.
the national team for a long time. But Canada's defenders, Cornelius and Bombito, were basically only discovered very recently. By that I mean only under Jesse Marsh have we started really playing them as starters, and it was an amazing decision. It's like clearly a great decision to do that. So the thing is, what I look at is I don't see really where the U.S. advantage is. The one place where I think they are better than us overall is the midfield
Yeah,
because
that's a real
Adams,
stat.
Reyna, McKinley, VS, Eustachio, Kone, um, uh, Buchanan, and Schaffelberg. That's going to be close. And the advantage the U.S. has is they have more depth than us. Just especially that we're bringing to this tournament, the U.S. definitely has more depth. So then, as like the game goes on, the U.S. Canadian players could get tired and the US has better chances. Because here's the thing with Canada's midfield, right? So we have Nico Sugar, who is listed as a defender, but he's really more of a defensive midfielder. We have Jonathan Osorio and Shawnee. Shawnee and Osorio are decent, but they're not on the level of the US midfield. And then Sugar or Seagur, he has not really been tested much for Canada, so I don't know. So I feel like that could be a weakness that we have, especially as the game goes on. But
Yeah,
overall, I really do think we should be the favorites.
I agree with that.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
So
we're better in like we're definitely better up front and also in the back.
yeah,
Yeah,
we have
Yeah.
better keeper. That's not debatable. We have a better
Right.
attack. That's not debatable. We have a better defense. That's not debatable. I'll give them the midfield, but then I mean, yeah. And by the way, that the gap between the midfield is less than the gap in those other two categories. So
yeah.
I'll say it. I mean, I did say there's going to be a lot of goals. I'm feeling a Canada 3-1.
3-1. Okay.
I was
Can
gonna get.
I
Yeah.
can I go into some historical data quickly?
Sure,
Okay.
let's go into the historical data.
Okay, so our record against the US, um, recently even it's not that great, but we did have, in our most recent match against them, it was a friendly, but we won against the US in the US in Kansas City,
Yeah.
which is our
Yeah.
first away win against America since, would you guys like to guess what year?
Let me think about
Uh,
this one. Okay, so it was before. It's probably before. Wait, no, never mind. So it was definitely not under John Herdman. It had to have been before.
so
I'm gonna go with like 2005
Okay, Corey.
uh, I'm hoping more recent. I'm gonna guess 2010.
because the thing is
It
before
was
like 2019 we're just a really terrible team. So
Okay, it was Canada's first win against the US in the US since the 6th of July, 1957.
1957.
1957.
holy shit!
Yo, you serious?
Yes.
We really
Wow.
been that bad for a long
This is
time?
according to 11v11, but I looked through like all of the wins and I'm pretty sure that is
Now that you
correct.
say that, that actually sounds accurate. So I think you're right.
Damn.
Yeah. So, I mean, it is a friendly, but it's nice to know that we can get away wins in America because that's the
Uh-huh.
situation we're going to be in basically throughout this tournament. Even the Mexico game will basically be an away game. Um, so we'll have that kind of environment throughout the tourney, unless we manage to get a final against Panama, which would be very interesting to see. But realistically, it's if we
That's
get
gonna
to the
be
final, it's going to be
if we
against
get a
That's
Panama.
gonna
final
be
against
against
Panama.
the odds.
If we
Yeah.
have a
Right.
final against Panama and we somehow lose that, first off, Panama are like, first
Crazy.
off, Thomas Christensen, take a bow. But
Same.
Uh-huh.
that would be a huge blight for Jesse Marsh. Now, I mean, Jesse Marsh so far has been untainted. He has done no wrong, literally no wrong, as our manager. He has been perfect. But if that happens, that's a major blip. I feel like the
Right.
U.S. because of the context you're talking about, the fact that it's at the U.S., the tensions that I don't know what effect that has
Mhm.
on the game. That's more excusable. But if it's Panama, that'd be very bad for
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Jesse
just a
Marsh.
terrible look for anyone losing against them in the final, at least. Now, the more important thing is in that match, the USMNT was coached by Mikey Varas, who was their interim coach between the disgraced Berhalter and their current coach, Pochettino. Uh, Now Poch is like known basically everywhere he goes. He's known for his high press, right?
If I can mention one
Uh,
other thing, the U.S. didn't play their full starting lineup in that match. It was like a half
that's
starting lineup.
yeah, that is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Now Poch is known for his press, but it's kind of tough to say how well it'll work here because he just hasn't played that many games with America's best starting lineup.
Hmm.
I think we were looking at their games and it was like the games where they played their best players were like the one against Panama and
And
then
the
the two
two
against
against
The
Jamaica,
Jamaica.
Jamaica ones.
which to be fair they did quite well in. Then they fielded weaker rosters against Mexico, Venezuela, and I think Costa Rica. But it should also be noted, because we've been talking about the injuries, their starting lineup is not going to be the same. Notably, Pepe, who scored a goal in the Panama game as well as one in each leg against Jamaica, is not taking part. And Josh Sargent is stepping up for him, and again, he's doing great for Norwich in the championship, but he basically never shows up for the national team. We talked about how he has like 20, 22 minutes in competition since the World Cup ended.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh, and Balogun is missing. He also scored 2 goals in the Copa, and he's not going to be back until April, which is unfortunate because it seemed like he was having a good string of games. So it's honestly tough. It's tough for me to say how the press is going to go. It might go well, it might not, because the lineup is different from when Poch tried it before.
I think the thing, but the key to the press is the midfield though, and the midfield is still going to be there.
The
Yeah.
midfield is there, yeah.
But they'll just be relying on a lot of finishes from Pulisic and Awea because I don't know if Josh Sargent's gonna
If
contribute.
I, I,
Sargent,
I, I get the feeling Sargent is going to ghost. I get the feeling
Yeah.
he's going to ghost. That could backfire on him.
dude, if
Maybe he
Sargent
has
scores,
his
if
like
Sargent
proper
scores two
debut
goals
here.
in the, if Sargent scores 2 goals in this tournament, we look like fools.
Yeah, because
But you
we've
know what?
kind of
I'll
been
give it to
clowning him.
them. At that point, you know what? They can have it. Yeah.
All right.
So
I think
Well, we're so
the
I think we
consensus.
agree it's gonna be a Canada win. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I
Might
feel
be
good
might
about
be a
that.
decently close one. It will definitely be a very passionate match, very rough match.
Uh-huh. But I
Um.
see us playing through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um and
Okay.
even
Score
even
predictions.
without the Canadian bias, by the way.
Right.
Even with
Right. We're gonna
yeah.
try to look at this objectively, even though we are the Canucks with infinite ball knowledge.
Yeah.
Uh, well done. Score predictions for this one?
Well, Darian already said.
I already said
Darian
3-1.
3-1.
originally I was going 2-1, but I feel like after like even talking with you guys, I think we might score even more goals.
We could, but I feel like generally speaking, we are a little bit worse. At a, we're a little bit worse. Our attackers are a little bit worse on the national team, except for obviously Jonathan David.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Jonathan David is so good that
David
the
could
defense
carry
always
us.
like puts an extra eye on him, and he doesn't get many chances. He gets
Yeah.
his chance conversion is very good for Canada, but he doesn't get a lot of chances because of that.
Yeah.
If they're not careful, David could carry us to the win.
Hmm. I think that wraps up this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you guys for watching. This one is a long one, but like thanks for sticking around, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. When are these matches? Is it in like a week's time from now? Yep.
A week, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I
Yeah.
will definitely be tuned in. I hope you guys will be watching as well. I know Darian will be. Darian, you watch
Yeah.
basically
This
every
guy's
national team
glued to
game.
the screen.
Yeah.
Dude. Listen, whenever it's Canada, bro, you already know.
I
Please.
don't watch too many friendlies, but if it's competitions, I think I have
By
to
the
be
way,
tuned in for that.
the Canada Mexico match is at 11:30 p.m. So just warning you
Right.
now.
That's fine. I will
That's
stay up if I need to.
I
Okay.
might
Well,
I
for
might not watch
everyone,
one. I'm gonna be honest. I'm so confident we're gonna win that I might not watch it.
damn,
okay. Okay. All
too
right. We'll see
mean.
what happens.
Well, for everyone watching, make sure you tune in. Those first few games that we covered in the last portion were pretty interesting, I think. I tuned in for quite a lot of them, actually.
Yeah.
Uh, Here's to hoping that these matches will be fun to watch as well.
Yep. Comment down below, and we'll see you guys next time.